Traders, we can finally use PineScript to run scans on the PineScript stock screener or crypto screener, forex screener, whatever screener you want to run this on, whatever markets you want to run this on, and we can get a readout of our script signals, any analysis that our script does. So here I have bullish and bearish breakouts, and if I open up the super charts, you can see that this stock has a 4.2% bullish breakout today intraday. If we bring up the super charts and we zoom in and we measure from yesterday's high up to today's current price, you can see about a 4% breakout occurring today in real time on the ASX 200 list, running my script, my breakout scanner script, through the Pine Screener. And in today's video, I'm going to show you how to get this set up, what its features are, what it's all about, and how to get your first script running through the Pine Screener, and also how to build your own watch lists using TradingView's regular screeners. I think this is an amazing feature. I think you guys are going to love it. None of the material in this video is financial advice. I'm experienced in managing my own finances, but I'm not qualified to give anyone advice on what to buy or sell. Everything I do in these videos is purely to demonstrate coding techniques, and the code I write is purely for example purposes. You should always do your own research and due diligence before engaging in trading or investing, and please seek professional guidance if you need it. With that said, let's look at some code. So first of all, what is the Pine Screener? It is a tool for scanning your watch list with PineScripts. With it, you can quickly scan, compare, and find symbols for trading and investing. I'll link to this below. You can read it if you want to. There's not a lot of information here that is super important to know once you see my guide today, which will show you how to use it. The important things to mention is down here. So it uses the plot function and alert condition functions to create its columns for scanning markets. So in other words, the simple way to create these columns for scanning whatever markets you're looking to scan is to just use plots. Plot shapes count as well. Anything that draws to the chart or triggers an alert condition. So here's my script. If I bring it up, there'll be a link to this below. It's a very simple script. It looks complicated, but all it's doing is getting higher time frame, price information. It's getting the high, low, close, and EMA of a higher time frame, using a custom security function so it doesn't repaint and it doesn't cheat and look ahead. It's only getting confirmed price information. It's detecting bullish and bearish breakouts. It's calculating the percentage breakout. So you do need to create a watch list before you can run this. I'll show you a trick for building a watch list really quickly. For example, to make my S&P 500 watch list, I could just simply click the S&P 500 index here, select every stock here and add it to a watch list. I'll show you how to do that in a moment. So you can't just run your script screener on every market that's listed on TradingView. You need to build your own custom watch list first, but I'll show you how to do that. It's really easy to do. So the Pine Screener is designed to give you a market overview and provide symbol comparison. So today I'm going to show you how to use this to detect intraday breakouts or recent breakouts, but you could also use this for something like relative momentum. You could rank every stock in the Russell 1000 or S&P 500 by momentum, and then maybe use that information to inform your watch list for that day, especially if you're a intraday trader. And it's important to mention that to add a script to the screener, it needs to be in your favorite indicators list. So for example, here I've just thrown together a quick composite momentum ranking formula. So this is a classic relative momentum formula. It adds up the rough daily bar lookbacks for the 1 month, 3 month, 6 month, and 12 month rate of change for a stock, and then it weights them so that longer term momentum gets a stronger ranking than shorter term momentum. And then we plot that to the chart to create a new column. What I would need to do here is save my script and call it something like Momentum Screener. Save, and then I would need to come up to indicators, go to my scripts and look for Momentum Screener and make sure to click the star icon there to favorite it. And now if I go back to the screener and refresh my page, I can choose Momentum Screener, run a scan, and here we get the rate of change composite ranking. Make sure it's on the daily time frame. The script is coded for daily bars. And now if I open up a few of these, right now as of today, these are the top 3 ASX 200 ranked momentum stocks based on that formula that I just showed you. So this is the highest ranking, this is the second highest ranking, and this is the third highest ranking. based on 250-day momentum. Now, the Pine Screener notes do say that the longest look back period for these scanners is 500 bars. So if you're going to do this sort of thing, you need to make sure that your longest look back period for anything important in your script is 500 bars or less. You can work with a full set of symbols regardless of that symbol type. The screener can scan a full watch list containing stocks, crypto, bonds, and other assets. So I'll link to this below for you guys to read. And by the way, full disclaimer, any links below may be third-party affiliate links where I might get a small cut of any purchases at no extra cost to you. So if you want to support the channel, that's a great way to do it. I'll just go over the requirements really quick and then we'll jump into some code. So you can only use one indicator per screener. The indicator must have at least one output, either a plot shape counts, alert condition counts. Only the plots can be used as columns. The indicator on indicator feature is not supported. So using an indicator as an input to another indicator is not currently supported. You can only run one script through the screener at a time. Custom timeframes are not supported. So the only timeframes are the most commonly used ones. The Pine Screener does support all request functions, but with some limitations. No more than 5 separate request calls can be used inside of the scan script, and the requested time frame in your request functions. So if you're using the request security function, for example, to request other time frame data, like a higher time frame data, that can only be done on the supported timeframes. So something important to mention is that inputs, the following inputs are not supported: time frame, symbol, and time. But the screener has its own time interval settings here, and these are the only supported time frames that we can use our script on. And symbol obviously doesn't work because it's scanning all these symbols in a watch list. The script can only analyze the last 500 bars on a chart. So that's important to mention if your script uses very long lookbacks for calculating its values. And using Pine version 4 and above is recommended. You should be using this anyway. All right, let's get into some code. I'll leave a link to the script below if you want to check out the source code. I already briefly went over what the script does at the beginning, so I won't do that again, but I will mention that. So normally I wouldn't bother with a percentage breakout plot because we can simply, if we're trying to get the percentage price move from a intraday breakout, we could just measure it ourselves. That's a minus 2.56% decline from the previous day's low. I can easily check that, but in the screener, there is no way to check that. And so I've added a column here that will tell us the percentage breakout. So that's what this code here is for. Then we have a bunch of plots here. I won't go over them because they're self-explanatory, but what I will mention is that there is a new display parameter that we have to work with, which is the display.pine screener. And then we have these ones here where we're doing a subtraction of constant values here. So let me explain what this is doing. If we go to the screener again and I remove it and add this back to my screener, you can see we have this higher time frame EMA column here. Any plot in your script will display in the screener by default. Now you can remove them from here. So if you click on this drop down box here, I can turn it off there or turn these other values on here. But if you want to make sure that they're not on by default, you have this new display.pine screener display parameter. So this here is saying set the display config for this plot to display on the chart pane. So that's on my actual chart, but do not display it on the Pine screener. So I've got this subtract thing here, displayed on the pane, but not in the screener. So if I copy this line of code back into my EMA plot, save it, and we jump back over to the screener and I remove my script and add it back on, you can see that EMA column's gone. So before we continue, let me show you how to set up your own watch list based on something like a market index. In this case, we've got the S&P 500. If I come up to open list and delete that list entirely, and then we go to the product page. So to get there, if you're on your main chart, just click on this, go to home, open new tab, go to products, screeners, stocks, ETFs. You've got all these options here. I'm going to go with stocks, and then I'm going to select the S&P 500. Actually, let's do the Russell 1000. Russell 1000, tick that. Now this is showing me every current stock in the Russell 1000. If I click on the top stock and we scroll down to the bottom, we need to continuously scroll to the bottom to load every single stock ticker into the screener. It's a bit annoying, I know, but welcome to TradingView's way of doing things. All right, so this is the bottom of the list. If I hold down Shift and click on that bottom stock, I can now right click a symbol, go to add to select the watch list, create new list. Let's just call it US R1000. Now, obviously, this is going to introduce survivorship bias. This is only listing the currently active stocks in the Russell 1000, but it is obviously good for intraday watch list creation. So now that we have that set up, I can come to products, screeners, and go to Pine. I can make sure that watch list is selected, US R1000, choose my breakout scanner, run a scan, and now we have the Russell 1000 breakout list. And I can go through these and have a look at the charts and see if there's anything interesting here. And by the way, this works on any market. So if we want to jump over to Forex real quick and run a scan, these are all the markets that are currently breaking out right now today on the daily time frame. So if I have a look at euro dollar, let's bring up the super charts. We are into new highs this week. And let's have a look at a few others. We got pound CAD breaking out above its previous day's high right now. So I'm sure you can see the power of this sort of tool for, especially for intraday market analysis. Without having to manually click through charts, you can just quickly bring up a screen, run your scans, and you've got your markets right there, ready to analyze. You drop down lower time frames, and you've got, huge time saver for any chartists out there, technical traders out there. For systematic traders, it's not that useful, but for hybrid traders or discretionary traders, technical analysis traders, very powerful. Definitely worth learning. And on that note, if you want to learn more about PineScript, head over to pinescriptmastery.com. You can find my free basics course there, or my mastery course with nearly 50 hours of content, over 200 lessons, 66 5-star reviews and counting. All of them are real reviews from real people over the years. This course has been out for like nearly 6 years now, I think. It's been a long time. And it's great to see PineScript progressing like this and adding new tools for us to use. I've been waiting for this sort of feature for a very, very long time. So yeah, anyway, if you are new to PineScript and you want to learn how to make your own code, make your own scripts, check out my courses. It comes with one-on-one support as well with me if you run into issues. AI tools are fantastic and getting better and better, but there's no substitute for an expert who understands the language back to front, who can dissect your AI slop for you. So if you're running into that issue as a new coder, check out my website. All right, that'll do it for today's video. Hope you found it interesting. I know I did. I'll speak with you guys in the next one. Take care. Best of luck with your trading and your coding. I'll speak with you soon. Have a good one.